So I'm using my iPad. My son is using my phone right now for his rain music while he sleeps. So I'm on my iPad, which is probably why it looks a little weird with the layout. Um, but today was a very busy day. Good day, but busy. We went to the Alligator farm, um, where we met up with my husband's best friend and his fiance. So that development was new. Um, so he told my husband that he wasn't going to propose to her until after they got done with their Florida vacation. So she's never been to Disney, so they went to Disney for a few days, and he ended up proposing to her at Magic Kingdom during the fireworks show. Really, really cute. I thought it was adorable. No, I was not there. But they were telling me about it, and they showed me like pictures and everything else, which is really cute. So, but yeah, he told my husband he wasn't going to propose until after their Florida trip, and I guess he decided, just being at Disney and the magic, he went ahead and proposed. So we have on our calendar a Houston area wedding in 2028. So we'll definitely be going back to Texas in 2028. I honestly love Texas. I have tried to get my husband to move there multiple times, and each time he has put it on pause and was like, no. But I think he's kind of back to considering it. But again, yeah, he'll probably put it back on pause again just because, yeah. So, but yeah, it was really good. We got to see them. I have not seen his best friend since probably a month. No, not even a month. It was like a couple weeks before I had my son. So it was good to see him because, again, it's been over a year since we saw him. And, it was just nice to kind of catch up and everything else. And went to the Alligator farm. My husband and I have never been there. Well, none of us have been there. Which is kind of weird because we've lived in the Jacksonville area. So like a while ago, I went to college there at UNF, and we lived there for 5 years. So I finished my degree there. I worked there. I started my, career there in Jacksonville. And then we moved to South Florida, where we stayed for 8 years, and then Orlando for a year, and back here. So weirdly enough, in those 5 years that we lived in the Jacksonville area, we went to St. Augustine like all the time. We would go downtown, we'd hang out. We went to, oh gosh, what am I thinking of? I'm having a brain fart, but it's there. Anyways, we did a lot of things in St. Augustine like all the time because it's only like a 45-minute drive from Jacksonville. But we'd never been to the Alligator farm. So today we went for the first time. It was actually kind of cool. It was nice. There's a lot of shade. So if you ever go, there's like a lot of shaded area. However, the swamp area where the massive swamp is, there is no shade in that area. It's no trees at all along the walkways. So other than that, there's a lot of shade, which is nice. Today wasn't really that hot. It was like maybe mid-80s, but there was a pretty good breeze coming in, so it wasn't overly hot. We didn't even really need the stroller fan. It was so cool out with the breeze, so we didn't really need the stroller fan, which was nice. There was a lot of like seating throughout the park, which was a plus. So you didn't have to go very far for seating. There was bathrooms throughout the park, and they have changing tables, which is really nice. And it wasn't overly crowded, so I didn't have to wait for changing tables. It was actually kind of easy to change them because the crowd just wasn't there. I'm sure in the summertime, when the tourist season happens and the summertime comes and everybody's on vacation, it will get crazy there. But today was really not that crazy. It was not that busy. So that was nice. I think we picked a good time of year to go. So that's what we did today. So it was surprising, not really surprisingly, but my son did good. He slept on the way there for his morning nap. He had his bottle, he had his food. And then, of course, on the way home, he had his afternoon nap because we live about an hour away from there, so it wasn't bad. Um, yeah, I enjoyed it. Would I go again? That I'm not sure. I think it's one of those things where like you just want to go once and that's it. It's not like there's a lot of different changing exhibits. It's not like that, but it's definitely a place to go to one time and be good. So I don't think I'd probably go again. Um, yeah, unless I went with someone that really wanted to go that hadn't gone and like, oh, let's go to the alligator farm, and I'd be like, okay. But other than that, I don't think I would go again like voluntarily. It'd have to be like a group decision kind of thing. But if you're ever in the St. Augustine area and you've never gone, it's definitely something to check out. If you're into crocodiles and you're into alligators. Surprisingly, there was a lot of birds. I really didn't think they would have had that many birds, but they had a lot of birds. They had some lemurs. They had a Komodo dragon, a couple Komodo dragons actually. So they had different like animals besides just alligators and crocodiles. They even had snakes, things like that, but definitely a lot of different alligators and different crocodiles. And I guess I never thought about this, but there's a lot of different species out there of alligators and crocodiles, and they have a lot of different species there. And again, it's not something I've ever thought about. So it was quite a shock to me. I was like, oh, yeah, I haven't really thought about it, but hey, look at this. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then afterward, we did like a late lunch, early dinner at the Grouper Shack, which if you like seafood, but you don't want like your traditional like seafood type place, this is the place to go. It's right at a marina, so you can actually watch them take the boats out of the water, put them back in the marina, or put them in the water from the marina. It was actually kind of cool to watch. And it's a first come, first serve type restaurant. And there's no like menus at the table or anything. You go like right when you go in the door, you turn left and there's like a little counter area. You order from the menu there. Okay. And they come like in little baskets. So don't be thinking like platters or anything like that. It's not really that kind of place. But you order from there and then you get this little buzzer and they bring it to you. So yeah, it was definitely something to check out. I'm definitely gonna go back to the Grouper Shack for sure. Definitely. But yeah, go check those things out.